Alright, gamers, we're looking forward to a Ghost of Yōtei gameplay deep dive. It will be starting here very quickly, and make sure you get in. Drop your predictions in the chat. Anything you think, gameplay-wise that we'll see today, anything you're excited to see. Once again, they mentioned that this is just purely a state of play for Ghost of Yōtei, so nothing else is expected to be shown. And don't forget to hit that like button before we get started today. Thank you for watching. It'll be ready in about 3 minutes. All right. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to make a Ghost of Tsushima video and explain like why I was so let down. So I'm hoping the same doesn't happen today, but not just a blind hater. I'm just it didn't live up to the expectations of what was shown, and it definitely has some flaws that people don't acknowledge, I guess, or just look over. So yeah, guess I'll have to make it happen, because there seems to be a lot of confusion. Because I've played better games. Just saying, I've played better games. Yeah, but guns have existed in the period of samurais. I mean, it's much like how, you know, revolvers were being phased out at the end of the cowboy era, and we had magazine-loaded pistols, you know, like the Colt 1911. That was like the end of the cowboy era. So no one complains about that being in Red Dead, but, you know, when it comes to samurai games like Rise of the Ronin or Neo, or maybe even this new Ghost game, like rifles existed. They did. It was just not of choice, and the samurai chose often to stand by their code of being for the blade, and that was what they chose, was to wield katanas. But some people acknowledge that, like, hey, you know, times are changing and we need to use the weapons and the new technology that's being created. I mean, it's historical fact, you know? Things that happen. I finished the first one. Never finished the first one. Yeah, I was playing it and I was enjoying it, but like I see some flaws that may just kind of put a damper on my playthrough. And then eventually when I discovered how massive the open world is and how little I had done, I was just like, yeah, I got other games to play. And then I just never came back. And people took that personally. Yeah, new one set, my favorite time period of Japan. Alright, there we go. Yeah, and the lead character seems alright. We gotta see more. I like the idea of her playing the shamisen. I think that's really cool. I don't know how that works in the gameplay. Maybe we just like chill and jam to some tunes, you know? Yeah, we all take it personally though, don't we? Anytime someone doesn't like our favorite game, and you know, like I didn't say I hate it. I just don't, you know, it's not as good as I thought it was gonna be. It looked like it was going to be the greatest game ever, you know, at least in terms of like being a shinobi or a samurai or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, it's not, in my opinion. That's all it is. Couple reasons that I could make in a video. Yeah. I can't believe they hit us with another 4-minute countdown. That's crazy. No one should love Nintendo. Man, I was raised on it, man, so maybe I'm indoctrinated, but I mean, that was the essence of gaming back then, was playing those games, Mario and Zelda and stuff like that, or just playing on their platform, period, no matter what you were doing. You know, there wasn't a PlayStation or an Xbox or a Dreamcast or any sort of Sega at the time. You know, Nintendo got in there early, competing with Atari and a bunch of the other. Anyway, let's see what Sucker Punch has.
Hello everyone, this is Jason Connell and Nate Fox from Sucker Punch Productions. Ghost of Tsushima was an honor to be a part of, and today Nate and I get to share more about our next game, Ghost of Yōtei. We'll be sharing how we've crafted the game around exploration while keeping Atsu's tale of vengeance front and center. We'll also talk about ghost combat.
Oh boy,
and how
we're
it's
not
evolved.
doing English, are
And
we?
we'll introduce for the first time some new special modes of play. But let's start things off first by talking about a Japanese
720 bullshit.
folk legend, the Onryo.
Real.
The people of Ezo believe Atsu is an Onryo, a wrathful ghost bent on revenge. And they're half right. Atsu doesn't care if she lives or dies, so long as she can punish the Yōtei Six,
Oh,
a ruthless gang who slaughtered her family. After 16 years
is this
in the
not
South,
just the
she's
plot of
returned
Assassin's
home
Creed
to put
Shadows?
their spirits to
Reimagined?
rest.
or even a rehash of the first game?
It's warm memories of her family that propel her forward.
Oh,
When Atsu returns to her childhood home, with the push of a button, you can experience those cherished times.
oh, not a guilt memory sim. Oh, that's
By
rough.
giving you the freedom to explore Atsu's past, the wound of her loss becomes personal. It's that pain that pushes her forward. Hunting down the Yōtei Six is a near impossible task.
They're literally
She'll face
Ocarina of
1,000
Timing us
blades.
right now.
But the Onryo is relentless, and with each victory,
You're gonna make us play
the
as
ghost
Child
story
Link.
around her grows.
That could be good. Be good for the story. World building. Showing how locations change over time. And people.
Ghost of Yōtei focuses on player freedom more than any game Sucker Punch has ever made. But it's also a game that at its heart is inspired by so many of our favorite wandering samurai films. So let's start off by talking about exploration at the edge of Japan.
Let's go.
We all have different playstyles, so we set out to make an open world game that lets you drive your own experiences. Whether that's your curiosity to wander, your thirst for combat, or a deep desire to stay focused on the story.
Okay.
As
I
you
definitely
explore,
wonder.
There's an underlying clue system that invites you to new adventures in new areas of the game that could be appealing to you. If you interrogate an enemy, choosing to ask about the Oni, you could uncover a landscape scarred by fire with more bold samurai-like enemies to fight and abilities for Atsu to learn.
Okay.
Or if you ask about the Kitsune, might lead you to an area filled with snow and deception, enemies that ambush you, and new ninja-like tactics to study.
I like that.
Atsu draws cards for each clue to keep track of all available adventures. The more you play, the more the game unfolds for you.
Okay.
As she makes progress against the Yōtei Six, her legend as the Onryo grows. It's her. Bounty will go up, drawing the attention of deadlier foes.
Oh, we're doing some Red Dead bounty system here.
Are you lost?
I'm looking for some old friends. The Yōtei Six.
Show her the door.
Oh, big guy.
There is a hefty price on Atsu's head. Now, Atsu can also hunt down her own bounties that bring her all around the land. This is a lucrative way to make some money to fuel her adventures.
Very Red Dead. Or Witcher, even. In some way. Obviously, we're not going after mythical stuff, I guess. Yeah, I mean, looks like, same combat, but, a character that's so far shown as less armored, or more shinobi than samurai.
You're not of Clan Eguchi. You're here for my bounty.
which I think is cool. Yeah, you got the parry and the dodge system and all that. Grapple system, very similar to
Hidden
Assassin's
in the
Creed
world are
Shadows.
altars of reflection. Finding one inspires Atsu and unlocks a new ability to help her on the journey ahead.
Okay.
They are fun to find on their own, but for a quicker route, you can always buy a traveler's map from the cartographer.
Okay, yeah, some time savers.
Ghost of Yōtei isn't going to rush you through anything.
I gotta say, the
You can
graphics look
choose
a
what
lot
motivates
better
you most.
going from PS4 to PS5.
But we think the best way to play
Lot more
is to simply
detail.
pull out your spyglass, find something interesting on the horizon, and enjoy the ride.
Let's ride.
Yeah, there's a lot more detail. The animals too. I dig it.
The lands around Yōtei are vast.
And a lot
It's
different.
not about checking it all off, it's about engaging in the content that gets you excited.
Oh,
Embrace
spas
that
are back.
Curiosity and let the wind guide you on your hunt.
Mastering the blade.
Ezo is a dangerous place. Atsu always wields a weapon.
Right.
As for which, that's up to you. Will you choose a katana, spear, kasaragama,
Saragama?
or dual swords? Each is uniquely effective against a particular enemy and has their own set
Show me
of
Kusarigama
upgrades to discover
gameplay.
and master.
Boy, cut his arm off. Oof.
Let's see how she uses these weapons in the field. Searching for leads on Lord Saito.
Got the Odachi.
This is our food, from our soil. The soldiers needed more to free you.
Free us. Inokichi steals our crops while our families starve.
Oh.
Atsu's no samurai or ninja. No. She's a lone wolf mercenary who
Oh, and
uses
we can just
every
pick up
advantage,
weapons.
every dirty trick to win a fight. Combat has the feel of a classic samurai movie.
Perfect parry.
Every motion counts.
Double
It's
swords.
about lethal precision.
Here.
If an enemy swings hard, Atsu can lose her weapon.
Oh
But
no.
if she's quick, she can disarm them.
That's pretty cool. Being able to disarm enemies.
Choose the right weapon for the job. To fight a massive enemy, her huge Odachi blade is best.
Yes. Damn. I do like that she cleans the blade. That's a detail that Assassin's Creed Shadows didn't really have. There were a couple
Looks
times
like the
where
one
you
in
would
charge.
flick it off, but it wasn't every time. And that kind of cuts into the immersion and the realism. Okay, so we have like sort of like Batman
But ranged
Arkham's like
weapons
fear
work too.
takedowns.
And Atsu's got
A quick
an
multi-assassinate. Yeah, you got rifles. Tangashima, I believe is what it's called. The rifle.
A ghost.
Thrown weapons like kunai, bombs, or even blinding powder can give Atsu an edge. When enemies switch weapons, you'll have to adapt. Dual swords are best against spears.
Goodness sake. Oh, the leg sweep. He never saw it coming.
Tell me what you know about Saito.
Atsu doesn't always fight alone. She'll meet several allies on her hunt,
Yes.
including a mysterious wolf.
Get him, Shadow. Yeah, of course they're not gonna show it.
Atsu can set up camp under the stars of Ezo.
Now this is also very
But
Red
she's
Dead.
not always alone.
Able to camp.
Hey, friend. Share your fire with the traveling peddler?
What are you selling?
A mask said to be cursed with the unpredictable nature of its previous owner.
Camping under the stars is a great way to rest up, play your shamisen, or cook to ready for a fight ahead. It's
Okay,
also
we're gonna have to
designed
double
help
back
bring
and look at
important
some of this
characters
stuff.
and upgrades straight to you. In fact, in place of the journal menu from Ghost of Tsushima, we've opted for a more character-driven way of managing allies and vendors you meet in Ezo. Over time, Atsu grows to have her own wolf pack.
I like that.
Here, you can keep track of when a sensei might have a weapon skill for you, or when a vendor has something unique to sell. Managing upgrades, resources, when to buy what, can be a burden in a big open world game.
I agree.
Campsites, members of your wolf pack can catch up with you, offering upgrades and unique items. This helps ensure you have every opportunity to upgrade and prepare for Atsu's vengeance quest ahead. You don't have to leave where you're exploring, the game comes to you.
I gotta say, that's a huge quality of life thing.
While exploring Ezo, you'll discover all sorts of new armor, charms, and gear. Perfect for building up Atsu around your chosen playstyle. Are you stealth, ranged, or melee focused? Find and combine the pieces that are just right for you. And of course, customize the look of your armor and weapons to make sure that your version of Atsu looks and fights just the way you want.
Okay. Cooking. Yeah, what's the point of the shamisen?
The score of Ghost of Yōtei is incredibly special to us.
How's that gonna work into gameplay?
Our amazing composer, Toma Otoa, has created a mashup of Eastern instrumentation with Western flavors, brought to life through an exciting collaboration of many talented artists.
でこうダウンビートまで
If you like what you heard, we're releasing 2 tracks featured in today's State of Play on your favorite streaming service immediately after the show.
Special mode. We
The
got
digital
photos.
photography community for Ghost of Tsushima is incredible. We're
Yeah,
happy to
having,
have
like,
photo
the
mode back in
movable
Ghost of
photos
Yōtei
in the
and look
first
forward
game,
to
that was
seeing
cool.
Photos from your journey across Ezo.
Bear companion in the
We
bottom
want
right
playing
corner.
through Ghost of Yōtei to feel like stepping inside of your favorite
Subtitles,
classic
Samurai
films.
Cinema.
So, from the beginning of the game, we're happy to offer a full Japanese voice track with full lip sync that you can play with subtitles.
誰だてめえ
There you go. Max immersion, right? Very much like Assassin's Creed Shadows had the immersive mode.
生きてたか
Play however you want.
狼の姫。一
一人残らず息の根止めたと思った。また会えたな。刀鍛冶の娘。
覚えておけ。アツだ。
To take the feeling of stepping into a classic samurai cinema experience one step further, we are honored to once again partner with acclaimed director Akira Kurosawa's estate for Kurosawa Mode, which emulates his classic black and white films.
Wow. I think it's good for photos, but yeah, I think I play the game to see the color of the beautiful world, you know. But I could see how some people
For
would
Ghost
love
of
that.
Yōtei, we wanted to celebrate 2 other influential directors who have had an impact on the genre as a whole. First, we've partnered with Takeshi Miike, director of 13 Assassins, for a mode that puts the camera closer during combat for a more intense, raw experience along with increased mud and blood splatter.
Yeah.
And lastly, we've partnered with the director of Samurai Champloo, Shinichiro Watanabe.
What?
Turn this mode on to listen to some original lo-fi tracks directed by Watanabe himself.
You know, I couldn't get into that anime, but I did love Cowboy Bebop and Lazarus. All the wild horses.
There's so many ways to make your Ghost of Yōtei playthrough your own. But no matter how you play, here's one way to experience Ghost of Yōtei that is sure to be special.
What, we gonna do co-op? Oh my god. Freaking controller. That does look cool. Why don't they sell the plates? Instead of making you buy a whole new console, just sell the plates. $20.
Today, you've got a glimpse into Atsu's hunt for the Yōtei 6.
It's like Xbox 360 era had
Forge your own
faceplates.
path while discovering the secrets of Ezo. To survive, you'll need to master a variety of weapons, using lethal precision to overcome
Yeah,
the
as
odds
usual,
and
Kusarigama
take
looks really
revenge
dope.
as the Onryo. Ghost of Yōtei comes out on October 2nd. Thank you so much for watching.
October 2nd. Okay. So, there's a couple things we gotta go back and look at. Just want to make sure I have this on the calendar. There's a couple things that they glossed over really quickly, so we're gonna go back and check out.
Hello everyone, this is Jason Connell and Nate Fox from Sucker Punch Productions.
Okay, I'm gonna turn off the audio here for a second. There's a couple things that they kind of glossed over that I want to check out here. Okay, so first off is this idea of showing some of the sort of utilizing what I would call like a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time type thing here, where you know, if you don't know, Ocarina of Time had multiple time periods. You started the game as young Link, as a child, and the world was different. You know, things were bright and cheery and everything was all right within the world of Hyrule. But then, you know, something happens with the story, which I'm not going to spoil, and then you become adult Link. You travel through time and you play as adult Link. Things are different in the world. You know, things are darker. There's zombies in the town square now. There's, you know, Ganondorf has taken over Hyrule. And, you know, while some landmarks and villages and things are the same, you know, things are also different. And so it looks like that's something... What the fuck? That looks like something... I don't know why spacebar would open stream elements. Okay. But yeah, something that Ghost of Yōtei aims to do. So yeah, like you can see like adult version of our main character is going to be different, and then pushing a button to sort of step into what her life is like as a child. It's very reminiscent of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So yeah, letting her go back and relive moments of her childhood. And I think what that also does is it builds character development, right? Because, you know, unless... It depends on the pacing of the beginning of the game as to whether it builds up relationships with their family before they all inevitably die, right? So, you know, if they don't do that, then this system of going to the past and reliving these memories will allow you to bond with her and her experiences and, you know, experience these moments of happiness with her family so that you too can put yourself on the path of vengeance. We don't know, Nick, about mythological stuff yet. I don't believe they've shown anything aligning with that yet. So yeah, looks like a button press to just go and experience, you know, what it's like as a child. And I don't know if there's going to be any combat around that or tutorials, or if it's just, you know, kind of meant to be for little story moments or to get some extra lore on the character. Could be really cool. So definitely a cool idea there. I think one of the other things is really interesting.
Your own experiences, whether that's your curiosity to wonder, your thirst for combat, or a deep
the way they're
desire
going
to
to
stay
tackle
focused
the
on
open
story.
world here.
As you explore, there's an underlying clue system that invites you to new adventures in new areas of the game that could be appealing to you. If you interrogate an enemy, choosing to ask about the Oni, you could uncover a land.
Having these different choices of like, okay, you could have this new weapon in this new region that you now have background for, and now you know like who to go after next. That's a really cool feature. Instead of just going around and killing everybody.
Scarred by fire with more bold samurai-like enemies to fight.
And then you have here, you've got like the bombs. She has two different types of bows, the short bow and the long bow. She's got the Scorch Bomb. She's got the rifle, the Tenkashima.
And abilities for Atsu to learn.
And then here you can ask about the Kitsune. And it looks like here you learn about a different region and also unlock the Kusarigama, which is obviously the correct decision.
You ask about the Kitsune.
I'm going to have to remember that.
An area filled with snow and deception, enemies that ambush.
Dude, enemies that pop up out of the snow is crazy.
You ask about the Kitsune, might lead you to an area filled with snow.
Just look how he pops up out of the snow.
Ambush you, and new
insane.
ninja-like tactics to study.
I definitely want to go the shinobi way. Let me turn off captions because it's blocking a little bit of the hub. The merchants I was escorting were headed to the Red Crane Inn. Good place to find a lead on the Kitsune.
Cards for each clue.
Yeah, and then, you know, you got different parts of the map here.
Adventures. The more you play,
that's really
the
cool.
more the game unfolds for you.
That was a lot of
Progress against
information
the
in
Yōtei
a
6, her legend as the Onryo grows.
very short amount of time. Okay, and then the next thing I want to check here. Right, so you mark that guy off. Got it. Graveyards.
You're not of Clan Eguchi.
Bounty.
You're here for my
Tokens.
bounty.
I did like the parrying and you know, dodge system. I like the subtle things for that. Now, one of the complaints I had from the first game, I think it's still here. Now, there's a lot of games like Assassin's Creed Shadows that have these like these grapple points where it's like, oh, you can only grapple here. But I think the thing I hated about Tsushima was it functioned like an old platformer from like 2006, where there was only certain like walls that you can climb. There were certain ledges that were highlighted that you could climb on, and this was like pre-Uncharted. So I mean, and it's just weird having a game in like 2020 or beyond where it's like you have colored cliffs like this, and that's the only place you can climb up. But yeah, I haven't seen like the weird like ledges throughout, you know, a mountain or something where it's like, oh, you can only move between these things. Like there's no sort of freedom to climb in any sort of way. Like it made Ghost of Tsushima feel like a game that was dated by like 20 years in terms of platforming. So for me, it was a huge step backwards. Okay, so let's take a closer look at what they showed here, because they showed this pretty quick. So it says perfect parry an attack at the last second to slow time and perform a counterattack. Earns a moderate amount of spirit. L1 to parry, and then square or triangle to counterattack. Let's see if they disarm counters. So they talked about doing counters, but now we can learn how to actually do so. Focus attacks will disarm enemies performing a yellow glint attack. So we did see that throughout the game gameplay that they showed here. Earn spirit on successful disarm. Hold and release triangle to disarm. Okay, so we're going to see a little bit of that in the upcoming gameplay. So that's the cartographer, but also notice what we're doing here. It's like they give us a portion of the map, and then we have to like figure out.
They are fun to find on their own, but for a quicker route, you can always buy a traveler's map from the cartographer.
Yeah, right here, where you're like moving a little piece of the map around, trying to like find where it fits in. That's pretty cool. So alter reflection, new technique. That's cool.
Ghost of Yōtei isn't going to rush you through anything.
I like that idea too.
What motivates you most?
Choosing to do what you want. Just gonna skip ahead a little bit. Flower streams will give Atsu a boost. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Yeah, I dig it.
The lands around Yōtei are fast. It's not about checking it all off.
Yeah, it looks like she's gonna be painting and gambling and doing this stuff from the first game, like learning bear technique with the sword, going to the spa to relax, probably meditation areas.
Guide you on your hunt.
I want to hear about the camp system again. The like camping out and having people come by and join you.
Ezo is a dangerous
really
place.
Cool.
Atsu always wields a weapon.
All right, I'm gonna skip some of the weapons stuff.
That's up to you. Will you choose?
Let's see, I think it was. Let's see some combat here. I think maybe we saw some moment with the golden glint, where you can disarm enemies. I don't think we saw it right here.
Combat has the feel of a classic samurai movie.
Yeah, you gotta love the perfect parries and the time slices. I mean, that's the one thing I enjoyed about these games, about Tsushima, was like it wasn't like a hack and slash. Like, you know, unfortunately, Assassin's Creed Shadows was very hacky slashy at times. This game was like, no, a few precise slices could end you or your enemy. So I did enjoy that. I enjoyed that, like, that realism and that sort of brutal difficulty. Changing weapons on the fly.
If an enemy swings hard, Atsu can lose her weapon. But if she's quick, she can disarm.
So as long as you hold triangle and release when you see that glint of gold, I guess you're good for a takedown.
Choose the right weapon for the job.
Yeah, we just kind of saw it very briefly, but that makes sense.
Odachi blade is best.
Yeah, the Odachi, oh my god. Took that dude out. And the way she flicked the blood off that blade too. Because you're not gonna do that one, you know? Not with a blade that's so big as the Odachi, you know? You have a different
Looks like the one in
technique.
charge.
Tonight, we feast.
Using that to eavesdrop on people. Let's skip ahead to more combat here. That's it. Hiroshima.
Bounty hunter. A ghost.
Thrown weapons like kunai, bombs, or even blinding powder can give Atsu an edge.
And it looks like the
When enemies
stance
switch
system,
weapons,
which they
you
kind of
have to
copied
adapt.
from Neo, is
Dual
there.
swords are best against spears.
I think it's still there. I mean, if you're gonna copy from the best, you know? Oh, the leg sweep, though.
Tell me what you know about Saito.
Atsu doesn't always fight alone. She'll meet several allies on her heart.
I'm interested in this. That's one of the things I wanted to see the most today. Yeah, double swords look sick, man. Yeah, I think having the dog, the wolf, watching your
Atsu can
back,
set up
or
camp under the stars
being able to
at Atsu,
command them.
but she's not always alone.
Hey, friend. Share your fire with the traveling peddler?
So this is interesting.
selling?
I'm wondering if there's going to be moments like in Red Dead where you might be camping somewhere and then you get ambushed by like bad guys. But in this case, it also looks like the camping is a way for your various allies, you know, the wolf pack here, to join you and be like, hey, I've got upgrades for you, or I've got something that you might want to buy from my store.
Camping under the stars.
And then, yeah, it looks like she's able to play music, which might be for buffs, you know, eat food.
Is a
I
great
mean,
way
maybe
to
that's
rest up,
important as
play
well.
shamisen,
I'd like to
cook
see
get
how
ready
all
for a
that
fight
works,
ahead.
you know?
It's also designed to help bring
Hand-to-hand
important
combat,
characters
that
and
would be
upgrades
killer,
straight
yeah.
to you.
Especially considering that, like, you know, especially with these games based on, you know, Japanese lore and stuff, they would be trained in hand-to-hand combat. And I think it might be either there's a couple games we can look forward to. Neo, of course, has some hand-to-hand, but I think Where Winds Meet. Where Winds Meet. Yeah, it does have Wuxia martial arts, and the there's another game that's coming. Let me see. Where Winds Meet is, I don't know why it says December of last year. Do we have a date on Where Winds Meet? No, I guess not. 2025. The other game that, let's see, it's Wu Chang Fallen Feathers, I believe, is also, let's see, I believe that one's also gonna have hand-to-hand combat. Okay, maybe not. Could have sworn I saw some for Wu Chang. But Wu Chang is, let me go back. I think Wu Chang is coming very soon, though. Let me see. Fallen Feathers. That is July 23rd. I don't know how I'm going to play all these games, to be fair. Yikes. Yeah, different outfits, different weapons. Yeah, deluxe edition looks dope. Yeah, I'm keen for that. Anyway, back to the camping.
In place of the journal menu from Ghost of Tsushima, we've opted for a more character-driven way of managing our.
Let's see. So Genji the armor has new upgrades for you. So Matchlock Murata. I guess maybe you're able to pick like who comes to you, so that this way you don't have to like ride all the way to their shop or fast travel to them. You know, just wasting time loading back and forth. You know, we can utilize this camp as a way to, you know, just sort of summon these characters. Be like, hey, oh, someone has a new quest for me, or someone has, you know, a new skill to teach you. Bring them to us. Yeah, new gear, new techniques to teach you. So it says I should return to his dojo on Owl Mountain to continue my training.
Track of when a sensei might have a weapon skill for you, or when a vendor has something unique to sell.
New gear. Set up camp and they will visit you. There you go.
When to buy what.
So yeah, it looks like you might pick. You might be able to pick who comes to visit.
Your wolf pack can catch up with you, offering upgrades and unique items. This helps ensure you have every opportunity to upgrade and prepare for Atsu's vengeance quest ahead.
That's a huge quality of life
Exploring, the game comes to you.
Yep, the game comes to you. I think that's super cool. Customization looked really dope. I mean, obviously they showed off some cool outfits. Music, photo mode, the immersive stuff.
And of course, customize.
I mean, yeah, that pretty much covers it, honestly.
To make sure that your version of Atsu looks and fights just the way you want.
Hell yeah. Okay, so I think that's where we're gonna wrap it. That's kind of all the deeper analysis that I can provide on Ghost of Yōtei. I think 45 minutes of gameplay footage is pretty amazing, sort of giving us an idea of what the game's like and if it looks fun to play. I have to say I'm a little more interested in this. But I do think it might have some of the flaws that I saw in the first game, which I guess I'm going to have to make a video about now. But I do see a lot of quality of life improvements and some exciting changes that will definitely make playing the game a little easier and a little more fun. So, I don't know. I dig it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell. So you don't miss out on future videos. I believe we have a Death Stranding stream scheduled for tonight, so that's going to be super awesome and fun. I might be live on that a little earlier. I just wanted to make sure that I worked in some time for a little bit of a dinner break, and I think I need to hop on Dune and make sure that our base has resources, so I might do that before we go live on some Death Stranding. But it was really fun hopping into the altars. We got a bunch of new videos available on the channel. I did earlier today, I dropped a hang on, let me pull it up. I dropped a reaction video to 9 minutes of gameplay for Mafia: The Old Country. So it's been a very busy day. We've reacted to Ghost of Yōtei here. We've checked out some more gameplay of the altars. We're going to do some more Death Stranding 2 tonight. And then, of course, there is a YouTube short that is available for members only at this time. And I'm excited to see what you guys think about that. So once again, until next time, until later tonight, I would say, take care, be safe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.